They'll be calling you a radical. I'm going to talk about the Yucca mountain dynamic, the illogical activist, as everybody's in denial. Everybody wants to show up to this fight 40 years late. Let's get real. The nuclear waste fight, I see some new group started up, Fukushima on freeways, blocking Yucca mountain. Fukushima's on every freeway. Nuclear waste hauls along roads, in caverns, all over this country, all day, every day. They haul nuclear waste by plane, trains, automobiles all day, every day. I've caught them on videos multiple times, uncovered. It's stuck in nooks and crannies all over, right out here. It's like you could see, you can barely see right out here. And these people don't even know it's here. They're burning it right there. You can actually physically see it. They don't even know it's here. Oh, that's a long ways away, that Japan. You're having this illogical conversation. What, Peter Pan going to deal with it? The Easter Bunny going to deal with it? The Santa Claus, isn't that what? That's all that's all the baby boomers do. You seen the debt? Kick the can. You seen anything logical? Just kick the can. Nuclear, this conversation's over 40 years ago. You know, Congress so corrupt. Look, it's illogical. This waste is everywhere. There's 252 dump sites at least. Look, it's like the mound. How can you build the mound in St. Louis? I want to know how developers, county commissioners, state officials, they have full disclosure laws. How are you able to build up subdivisions next to that thing? And let me tell you about the fire at Westlake. The fire, look, when they put that, they just dump it in barrels. I've been working with an autistic young man for decades in Bunkerville. He lives in Mesquite, where Bundy was free-ranging and mooching his cattle, the pedophiles out there. We go all over. I'm traveling all over. They just threw it out there. It's everywhere. It's just buried all over, like the one that exploded. I know where freaking hundreds of them are out there. They just threw the barrels all over. You know, when they killed my dad in the Nevada Tesla, they didn't care. You know, nobody was there. It was the desert. Nobody lived there. It all grew up. How did you grow up? It's like, you know, people in Las Vegas bitching about Yucca Mountain. I got news. Yucca Mountain was passed by Congress in the 70s. Hello? Well, we didn't know. Yeah, well, there's your problem. Why don't you go out to media? Why don't you get involved in your politics? It is representative government. I mean, it's like my PhD one. Before I got sick, I was working on all houses lead there. You know, oh, we hate Congress, we hate Congress. Who's your congressman? I don't know. What's the difference between a senator and a congressman? You know, George Carlin's great line. You have a ignorant populace, you're gonna, selfish, ignorant populace, you're gonna elect selfish, ignorant freaking leaders. That's what we've done. But look, it's a cultural fabric problem. You know, the whole gig with Hillary and Yoko, I mean, they're skull and bones, come on. I still say that Yoko killed freaking John Lennon. That's when this madness started. You know, she come from that nuclear bankster, freaking shogun, royal elitist, freaking, come on, let's get real what the Japanese did to the Chinese. Let's get real what the Japanese did to the Philippines. Let's get real what the Japanese did to the Koreans. I mean, Teddy won a real Nobel Prize. Look, the Prussians and, you know, the Tsar's back. Putin's back. It's all the way back. Is it related to Nicholas? It doesn't matter. They're all back. The redistribution of wealth, it's back. All of it. This has been the greatest redistribution of wealth to the 1% in human history in the United States. This has been the biggest class warfare ever waged on a populace in history. Not going to happen. Could happen. The Yucca Mountain fight, I mean, the nuclear waste fight should have been had 40 years ago. All this stuff should have been dealt with years and years ago. The interest rate, all of it should have been dealt with, and they didn't. So now we have it everywhere. You're going to try to block nuclear waste from being on freeways? Really? You watch nuclear waste travels on freeways all day, every day, and none of you care. I've caught it on freaking film. Send it to me. Media don't care. You know, it's just like cancer. We're going to talk about the cure, the cure, 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 cure. You know, everybody's the cure. Pink ribbons, everybody's got ribbons. Cure, cure, cure. Nobody ever talks about the cause. I mean, it's outrageous. There is no cure for cancer. You go on this fairy tale. You know how many people die from it a day that have access to any care in the world? I mean, Jamie Dimon. Steve, Chinese Jobs. Jamie Dimon's fighting for his life. Lloyd Blakefield's got it. You know, Mellon died of it. You know, Nora Epstein died of it. You know, the mass murder of this complex is outrageous. We're all counter-suicide. They murdered us all. You know, it's so outrageous. So I'm going to put up this video that I did a year ago today. The Bay of Pigs Day. Or excuse me. The Cuban Missile Crisis Day. I mean, I don't know where we go from here. My activism, my battle, I do all the dirty work. Why? Why? You know, fighting for my life. I love my kids. I love my children. I do all this dirty work, fight my ass off, the stuff I go through for a bunch of people that don't give a shit. A bunch of self-indulged, me. You know, they love anybody's fighting cancer as long as they're like this. Don't fight intensely. I was given 2 months to live. I survived a disease I should have never survived that hardly anybody survives. ML de Nouveau in my guts. Wow. You know, but once you survive, you know, boy, they don't care about us. No, but they don't care about themselves. So why should I defend these people? You know, I don't know. A curse of spite that I was born to set this right. The country and western version of Hamlet on Balco. You know, they dumped poison in my father's ear. I had the dream, avenges death. I guess. You know. The sad, lonely freaking war is a logical activist in this thing. Somebody sent me a quote Plato said recently and says, you know, to see beneath the lies of your culture, no one will ever listen to you. Huh. Wow. I can't believe how illogical the activist is. We're going to block Yucca Mountain. Yucca Mountain a bad idea? Of course it's a bad idea. By the way, in Vandenberg, when they shot off the rocket, I was down there. You know, I know what they're up to because I'm inside. I know I have relationships inside the NRC, relationships PG&E. They know. They know. Let me tell you, PG&E is nervous wrecks about the waste. Look, I cannot overstate this. None of these reactors were ever built to hold spent fuel. There are 45 years of spent fuel in these old tired reactors. It's a catastrophe. There's 104 reactors. Yeah, there's 101 now because we got a few of them. It doesn't matter. The waste's all there. They're so vulnerable. They're so freaking easy. San Onofre spills, and that's when you're going to deal with it. You mark my words, we're going to get a spilled San Onofre when we go to the earthquake or the hurricane like hit Mexico. At least, look, Mexico blocked that. But they tried to build a reactor right where that hurricane. You know what a freaking 200, 165 mile winds do to spent fuel pools? You know, everybody wants to talk about the core. You know, look what the spent fuel, and I want people to very much understand this. You know where the spent fuel for number 4 is? And I know this. I know all this for a fact because I've ate, slept, drank this, not even post Fukushima, which I have, I mean, video proof. They dumped it all in this ocean, the giant spent fuel pool. They just take it and dump it in the ocean. That's what they do. That's what they've done for 1,700 days. It doesn't matter if you put it in the jet stream or you put it in the ocean. The storms rise up off the ocean and they hammer us. Raise the legal limits. The fire that's burned West Lake's already in the freaking dump sites. You know, they lost their shit about, and think about legality. You know, we're talking about, I was at the USS Reagan on August 25th. She ruled. That was 2014. Anything else? I mean, they've captured the courts, the slow motion in the courts. You know, by the time you go around through, I mean, it's outrageous. They've captured everything. The Patriot Act is an illegal act. There is no Constitution. The Patriot Act's the new Constitution. The Patriot Act is the new Constitution. Mission accomplished. George Walker Bush. George Walker Bush. Hillary, skull and bones at Yale with her lover, Yoko. I mean, of course, their fathers. I mean, skull and crossbones. I mean, these, how could, you're talking Yoko Ono was one of the most famous people in the world in the 1970s. The most hated person on earth. No doubt. Yoko Ono was the most hated person in there with Hillary. Doesn't that make sense? Talk about the anti-porn. It's disgusting. That's all we do. Kick the can. Kick it, kick it, kick it. Wow. We got an ecological catastrophe, you know, cancer, not going to happen. You seen the debt lately? Nobody even talks about it. You know, I've got answers. Like I said when I led the Million Mass March, I said, look, I have answers. We're not about quantity, we're about quality. We've got quality. I have answers to all this. You know, you want to have the fight about Yucca Mountain? Why? Congress passed it. You know, you don't like what Congress does? At least understand who your congressman is. Go run against him. People don't even know who they are. Because you just play into the fear. Ha, Johnny, get your gun. The economy fear. That's what, pay the drive. They did it in the old NEO feudals. It's all back. They got a lot. The redistribution of wealth. And by the way, look at Putin's policy. You can see patterned after Versailles. Isn't that worth 60 billion? The czars are all back. The saber rattling's all back. And I like how we just supply everything to China. And you don't think with economic power. And they're not the Chinese. They're American businessmen. American CEOs who call themselves United citizens who refuse to pay taxes. They're treason. Tim Cook's treason. All these CEO for GM, as America goes, GM goes. GM went broke, moved to China. But they still claim American residencies. They pay no taxes. I mean, the NFL's got not-profit. Are you kidding me? You know, Joel Osteen, all these mega church leaders making hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, they've captured everything. It's the greatest redistribution of wealth to freaking the 1% in history. Not going to happen, could happen, it'll happen. 3/11/11's capitulation. Populism's dead, post-ignorance. You know, I'll be in front of the MoMA. I mean, I think it's funny that the MoMA's trying to put up Yoko like, that's all you got, MoMA? That's as good as you got, Yoko? What a disgrace to Mr. Deschamps. What a disgrace to Deschamps. Wow. Hung out to dry? Oh, yeah. So my activism goes forward. I'm going to put up this other video. It's been a year. It's been more than that. I've been having the same arguments at San Onofre. You know, I went to those hearings at Carlsbad since the 40s, and that was at the Omni Spa Hotel and Resort. Think about that. And the taxpayers' dime, that's where Tiger Plays go. $400 a night, so they could all bring, I mean, what? Why is it not the public library? Because there's no rational activists. The activists are still having the tired old freaking argument about Yucca Mountain. Oh, we don't want Fukushima on our freeways. I got news. Fukushima's all over your freeways. Every day, all day. Nuclear waste from these nuclear reactors. They haul back. I'm the guy that reported WIP, the explosion. You know how many WIPs there are? You know, in Vegas, the explosion, I'm all over through that desert. I freaking do all the dirty work. I don't know. Frustrated? Beyond frustrated. I don't know. One day at a time. I don't know where we'll get our break. But the only answer is Yucca Mountain. It's a horrible answer, and they're going to shoot it. I can tell you right now because I have relationships. It's going to happen. It's going to go there, and they're going to shoot it into space. Bad idea? Of course it's a bad idea. The bad idea is keep making more. The bad idea is continue to make more. And what, the name of defense? It's not economical. It takes 3 times, 4, 5 times, 6 times the electricity to even make nuclear power. How can that be? Price Anderson, the IEA, that's how it be. It's the biggest shakedown, corrupt thing in history. To boil water, uranium mines, uranium tailings. I mean, the money we spend, I mean, it's outrageous, the dirtiest, filthy mass murder, but this is it's the great equalizer. The arrogance, because they're so, it's just arrogance. That's all it is. It's the ultimate arrogance. Because it's killing them too, but they don't believe that. You know, Yoko and Hillary talk about the anti-porn. You know how hated Yoko was in the 70s? I still say that her father, the nuclear globalist rat, was in on the murder of John Lennon. I still say it. You know, can I prove it? Of course not. It's like John Kennedy. I still believe the nuclear industry killed John Kennedy. Can I prove it? I mean, it's amazing. You know, he gives that speech on July 26, 1963, he talked about leukemia. He talked about me as a child. You know, these young kids are going to get leukemia, blah, blah, blah. These things we know, Rachel Carson on Balco. That was an activist. Now that was an activist. See you in New York soon. 5th of November. Stand tuned.